Namaste students. In the previous class we have discussed about pre-fertilization events as well as fertilization that takes place in angiosperms. In pre-fertilization events we have discussed in detail the structure of stamen as well as the carpel, and we have also discussed how gamete formation takes place within the male and female reproductive unit of a flower. In fertilization, we have discussed the unique type of fertilization that occurs in angiosperms, that is double fertilization, and we have studied that the cells, how the cells of an embryo sac will be transformed after two fusion process, that is syngamy as well as triple fusion. And what are those resultant cells that are formed after double fertilization? The resultant cells that are formed are called zygote as well as primary endosperm cell. Okay. So now let us see what happens after zygote is formed and after primary endosperm nucleus or primary endosperm cell is formed. Okay. So all those events that takes place after fertilization process in angiosperms is termed as post-fertilization event. So all those events that occur after fertilization in angiosperms is termed as post-fertilization event. So there are certain post-fertilization events that occur in angiosperms. So first we will note down what are those post-fertilization events that occur in angiosperms. So during post-fertilization there is development of endosperm, there is development of embryo and transformation of ovule to seed and transformation or maturation of ovary to fruits. So these are the four main phases or events that occur during post-fertilization. So which are those post-fertilization events? Endosperm development, endosperm development, embryo development, embryo development, maturation of ovules to seeds and maturation of ovary to fruits. So these are the main events that occur after fertilization. So we have to discuss all these phases in detail. So first we will discuss about endosperm development. Okay. So we have to discuss endosperm development initially during post-fertilization event, because always endosperm development precedes embryo development. That indicates that endosperm development takes place first or begins first, and later on embryo development will take place. Okay, you have to remember this point very carefully, that endosperm development always precedes embryo development. Okay. So next we will see from what type of cell embryo development takes place. So in double fertilization we have discussed that there are two kinds of fusion. One is syngamy and the other fusion is known as triple fusion. So what is syngamy? Syngamy is fusion of one male gamete with one egg cell to form diploid zygote. Okay. Whereas triple fusion is fusion of one more male gamete with secondary nucleus or two polar nuclei to form primary endosperm nucleus. So the central cell where the primary endosperm nucleus is formed will then transform into primary endosperm cell. Okay. So primary endosperm cell will be formed as well as zygote will be formed during double fertilization. Okay. Now we have to see or we have to study how endosperm development takes place and what type of cell is involved in endosperm development. Okay. So always the primary endosperm nucleus or the primary endosperm cell will undergo further division to form the endosperm tissue. Okay. Primary endosperm cell will undergo further divisions to form endosperm or endosperm tissue. So this endosperm tissue or the cells of endosperm tissue, they accumulate reserve food material and have lots of nutrition in it. Okay. So this endosperm cells or tissue are usually filled with reserve food material, or they are highly nutritious or highly nutritive. Okay. Why they have to be highly nutritive? Because they have to provide nutrition for the developing embryo. So this is one of the reasons why endosperm development takes place earlier than the development of embryo. Okay. So now we will see how this primary endosperm cell or the nucleus of primary endosperm cell. What is the nucleus of primary endosperm cell? The nucleus of primary endosperm cell is known as primary endosperm nucleus. How does it develop into endosperm tissue? Okay. So mainly during endosperm development, or endosperm development may be of different types. Okay. So generally there are two kinds of endosperm development. They are free nuclear endosperm, free nuclear endosperm, and cellular endosperm. Cellular endosperm. Okay. So what are those two types of endosperm development? Free nuclear endosperm as well as cellular endosperm. In addition to these, there are certain other endosperm development in different kinds or different species of plants. Okay. For example, there is a kind of endosperm development known as halobial endosperm. Okay. That is seen in certain other species of plants. Okay. Now we have to study about free nuclear endosperm as well as cellular endosperm. Okay. So free nuclear endosperm is mainly formed when the primary endosperm nucleus undergoes continuous nuclear divisions or successive nuclear division. What happens if the nucleus of primary endosperm cell, you know that nucleus of primary endosperm cell is primary endosperm nucleus. So what happens if the primary endosperm nucleus undergoes successive nuclear division? Many nuclei will be formed. Okay. So such an endosperm where there are many nuclei inside a primary endosperm cell is called free nuclear endosperm. Okay. The best example for this free nuclear endosperm is the coconut water in tender coconuts. You have already tasted tender coconut. Tender coconut has got tender coconut water, and this tender coconut water, usually they say that tender coconut water is highly nutritious. Whenever you are sick, usually coconut water, because they are highly nutritious. Why they are highly nutritious? They have got free nuclear endosperm. And how this free nuclear endosperm is formed? Because of successive nuclear division of primary endosperm nucleus, thousands of nuclei will be formed. So such thousands of nuclei form free nuclear endosperm, which is highly nutritive. Okay. So example for free nuclear endosperm is the tender coconut water. Okay. So next we see what is cellular endosperm. Okay. So this cellular endosperm is mainly formed after this nuclear division. So you know that in the coconut, usually first tender coconut will be formed and later on coconut will be formed. So in tender coconut, usually there will be only tender coconut water, that is free nuclear endosperm. Okay. As this tender coconut or the coconut grows, so a kind of kernel is formed, white color kernel is formed inside the coconut, right? So this white color kernel that is formed inside the coconut is nothing but cellular endosperm. Okay. How this cellular endosperm is formed? So once the nuclear endosperm is formed, around each nuclei some amount of cytoplasm is accumulated and cell wall is laid. Okay, that means cytokinesis takes place around the nucleus and this forms cellular endosperm. Okay, so cellular endosperm is formed after accumulation of cytoplasm around the nucleus and cell wall formation takes place around this nucleus as well as cytoplasm such that many cells are formed, and such an endosperm having many cells is known as cellular endosperm. Okay, what is the example for cellular endosperm? Example for cellular endosperm is the kernel, white kernel of the coconut is an example for cellular endosperm. I think you got the difference between free nuclear endosperm as well as cellular endosperm. So free nuclear endosperm is the endosperm where there are thousands of nuclei, whereas cellular endosperm is a type of endosperm where there are many cells, endospermic cells, or where there are many nutritive filled or the cells which are filled with reserve food material. Many such cells are present and that is known as cellular endosperm. Okay. So whenever the seeds mature, so in some of the seeds this endosperm may be retained, but in some seeds the endosperm may not be retained. Okay. So that is mainly dependent on the embryo. So in some seeds the embryo will utilize this endosperm, that is the reserve food material that is present inside the endosperm, and it may completely utilize that endosperm. But in certain seeds the embryo may not utilize completely this endosperm. Endosperm may be retained. So based on the whether the endosperm is retained in a seed or the endosperm is completely utilized by the embryo, there are different kinds of seeds. They may be endospermic seeds or non-endospermic seeds. So that we will study later on when we are discussing in detail about the seeds. Next, let us discuss about the second event that occurs under post-fertilization event in angiosperm, that is embryo development. Earlier we have discussed about endosperm development. I have mentioned clearly that endosperm development always precedes embryo development. As some amount of endosperm is formed, then the embryo development begins. Okay. So the process of formation of embryo from a zygote. So from what type of cell embryo is formed? Embryo is usually formed from the zygote. So you have already studied that zygote is formed due to a fusion process that is known as syngamy that occurs during double fertilization, right? So during double fertilization, one of the male gamete fuses with one egg cell to form a diploid zygote. So that zygote that is formed during double fertilization will then develop into embryo. So this process of development of zygote to embryo or formation of embryo from the zygote is known as embryogenesis. It is termed as embryogenesis. You know the term? Meaning of term genesis. Genesis is formation. Embryo is formation of, embryogenesis is formation of embryo. So what type of cell develops into embryo? Zygote. So embryogenesis is a process of formation of embryo from a diploid zygote is known as embryogenesis. Okay. So during embryogenesis, two main events occur or two main stages take place, that is cell division as well as cell differentiation. You know that zygote is a single cell having diploid nucleus. That single celled zygote then undergoes cell division, continuous cell division to form many cells, and those cells, resultant cells that are formed then undergo cell differentiation to form different types of cells so that an embryo is formed. So remember that embryogenesis is a process of formation of embryo from the zygote, and embryogenesis involves two steps. They are cell division and cell differentiation. So remember this point very carefully because this has been asked in many of the previous board examinations. Okay, so what is embryogenesis? What are the two main events that occur during embryogenesis? So now let us see what are those stages of embryogenesis. Okay, so during embryogenesis, the zygote undergoes cell division, continuous cell division, and what type of cell division occurs here? The type of cell division that occurs here is mitosis. Mitosis is equational division. Okay, so zygote undergoes continuous cell division. Many cells are formed and these cells then undergo cell differentiation to form different types of cells, and then an embryo will be developed. Okay, so we'll see what are those stages of embryogenesis, or what are those stages that the zygote undergoes to develop into embryo. In the early stages of embryo development, is similar in both dicot as well as monocotyledonous embryo. Okay, so early stages of embryo development will be similar in both monocotyledonous as well as dicotyledonous embryo. But as the mature stage arises, or once the embryo becomes mature, then the mature embryo of dicot as well as monocot has got certain different structures. Only variation in slight variation will be seen in number of cotyledon as well as certain other structures. Okay, that we are going to discuss in the next topic, where we have to study in detail about the dicot embryo as well as monocot embryo. So now we will discuss those stages of embryogenesis. All those stages of development of embryo can be termed as embryogeny. Embryogeny. Embryogeny is various stages of embryogenesis. So what are those stages that are seen during embryogenesis? Okay, so during embryogenesis, the early stages, zygote undergoes division, cell division to form. Zygote is a single cell having diploid nucleus. So this single cell diploid nucleus having zygote will undergo cell division to form two cells, and the two cells that are formed are an embryo cell as well as a suspensor cell. Single celled zygote undergoes cell division to form two cells having an embryo cell as well as a suspensor cell. Now, such a stage of the embryo development where there are two cells is known as proembryo. Okay, so zygote develops into proembryo. Proembryo again undergoes continuous cell division to form many cells, where the suspensor cells undergoes continuous division to form a suspensor, and then the embryo cell undergoes continuous division to form an embryonal axis. Okay, so now this third stage of embryogeny is termed as globular embryo. Globular embryo. The globular embryo again undergoes continuous cell division to form a heart-shaped embryo, and a heart-shaped embryo again undergoes cell division and differentiation to form mature embryo. So these are the various stages of embryogeny, or that occurs during embryogenesis. So remember these stages: zygote undergoes division, cell division to form proembryo. Proembryo then develops to form globular embryo. Globular embryo then develops to form heart-shaped embryo, and heart-shaped embryo then develops into a mature embryo. Okay, so now let us see how is the structure of a mature embryo of a dicot plant, or what is the structure of a mature dicot embryo. Okay, so this diagram is very important, always asked for 3 marks. So do practice this diagram, and in many of the board examinations this diagram has been asked. Okay, so here we will see what are the various parts of dicot embryo. So you know that dicot embryo generally has 2 cotyledons in them, so we consider them as dicot embryo. Okay, so each embryo has got cotyledons as well as embryonal axis. Okay, each embryo has cotyledon as well as embryonal axis. Since it is dicot embryo, there are two cotyledons. Okay, so dicot embryo has two cotyledons, and there is embryonal axis above the point of attachment to the cotyledon is known as epicotyle, and part of the embryonal axis below the point of attachment of cotyledon is known as hypocotyle. So each embryonal axis has got two parts. They are hypocotyle as well as epicotyle. Always hypocotyle terminates with radicle and epicotyle terminates with plumule. Okay. So in case of dicot embryo, the radicle is covered by a protective structure around the root tip, that is known as root cap. Okay. Whereas the plumule is considered as the future shoot, whereas radicle is considered as future root. So you have already studied in your lower classes, especially in class 10th, you have studied about the structure of dicot seed. In the dicot seed, there are usually, or inside the seed there is embryo. Embryo has got two cotyledons. On either side there will be two cotyledons, and in between the two cotyledons there is an embryonal axis. So each embryonal axis has got two parts. They are, the upper part is usually considered as epicotyle, lower part of the embryonal axis is considered as hypocotyle. Hypocotyle terminates with radicle, epicotyle terminates with plumule. Okay, and in case of dicot embryo, the radicle is covered by root cap. Okay, so this is the structure of a mature dicot embryo, which is very, very important. You have to practice the diagram as well as you have to remember the labeling. Let us now discuss about the structure of monocot embryo as well as dicot embryo. As I mentioned earlier, the early stages of development of either the monocot embryo or the dicot embryo are similar. And what are those stages of embryo development? Early stages of embryo development, they are proembryo, globular embryo, heart-shaped embryo and mature embryo. But the structure of mature embryo of monocots as well as dicots are different. So we are going to study the structure of monocot embryo as well as the structure of dicot embryo. So first we will discuss about the structure of monocot embryo with the help of a diagram, and then we will move on to the structure of dicot embryo. So in case of monocot embryo, as I told, within the seed there is embryo. Embryo has cotyledon as well as embryonal axis. So since it is monocot embryo, how many cotyledon will be there? There will be only one cotyledon. The name itself indicates monocotyledon. Mono refers to single. So monocotyledonous embryo has got single cotyledon, and attached to the single cotyledon towards the lateral side. Okay, attached to the single cotyledon towards the lateral side or any one of the side, there is an embryonal axis. Okay, so usually the monocot seeds or the monocot embryo has got single large cotyledon. For example, cotyledon of the embryo of grass family is usually single and large, and it is named as scutellum. Okay, it is named as scutellum. So this scutellum is a single large cotyledon. Attached to this single large cotyledon, there is an embryonal axis. So embryo has single large cotyledon. In case of grass, it is termed as scutellum, and attached to the cotyledon towards the lateral side, there is an embryonal axis. Okay, each embryonal axis, so this is point of attachment of embryonal axis to the cotyledon. So each embryonal axis has got two distinct parts, that is epicotyle as well as hypocotyle. So the point of attachment or the embryonal axis above the point of attachment to the cotyledon, listen here carefully, the embryonal axis above the point of attachment to the cotyledon is known as epicotyle, and epicotyle terminates with plumule. Okay, and part of an embryonal axis below the point of attachment. Part of embryonal axis below the point of attachment to the cotyledon is known as hypocotyle, and hypocotyle terminates with radicle. Okay. So there is embryonal axis. Embryonal axis has got two parts, epicotyle as well as hypocotyle. Epicotyle always terminates with plumule. So plumule is the foliar structures, hollow foliar structure that is known as plumule, or the shoot which in future becomes the shoot apex or the shoot system. Okay. In case of monocot embryo, you have to remember that always the tip of the embryonal axis, it may be either the plumule or the radicle, they are usually covered by protective covering or the sheath. Okay. The sheath that is covering the foliar structures, foliar structure is the tip of the shoot apex or the plumule. The sheath that is covering the foliar structure is known as coleoptile, and the sheath that is covering the radicle, is known as coleorhiza. So such structures are not found in dicot embryo. Coleoptile as well as coleorhiza are not present in dicot embryo. They are the characteristic features of monocot embryo. So this is the structure of monocot embryo. Okay. So each monocot embryo has got two parts in them, a cotyledon as well as embryonal axis. In grass family, single large cotyledon is named as scutellum, and attached to the scutellum towards the lateral side, that is very, very important, towards the lateral side or any one of the side there is a embryonal axis. Each embryonal axis has two parts. The upper part of is known as epicotyle, the lower part is known as hypocotyle. The epicotyle terminates with shoot apex or the plumule, and plumule is covered by protective sheath named coleoptile, and the hypocotyle terminates with radicle. Radicle is covered by root cap or the protective sheath known as coleorhiza. Okay. So now let us discuss the structure of dicot embryo. So dicot embryo, as the name itself indicates, dicot embryo, the embryo has got two cotyledon. So each embryo has cotyledon as well as embryonal axis. Dicot embryo has got two cotyledon and an embryonal axis. In case of dicot embryo, there are two cotyledons and embryonal axis is usually found in between those two cotyledons. Okay, in class 10 you have studied the structure of dicot embryo, where there are two cotyledons. In between the two cotyledons there is an embryonal axis. So these two are the cotyledons, there is an embryonal axis. Okay. So part of the embryonal axis above the point of attachment to the cotyledon is known as epicotyle, which always terminates with plumule, and part of the embryonal axis below the point of attachment to cotyledon is known as hypocotyle, and it terminates with radicle, and radicle is covered by a structure known as root cap. Okay. So this is the structure of monocot embryo as well as dicot embryo. Remember these two diagrams. These diagrams are very important, usually asked for 3 marks. So either monocot embryo can be asked for 3 marks or dicot embryo can be asked for 3 marks in previous board examination. Many of the board examination, many years they have been asked this diagram. Okay. So practice this diagram as well as labeling. Okay. So next we'll discuss about seed, that the next events in post fertilization event. Already we have discussed endosperm development as well as embryo development. So what are the other two events that are seen in post fertilization events? They are transformation of ovule to or maturation of ovule to seed as well as maturation of ovary to fruits. And then we will discuss about certain other phenomena, special phenomenon that takes place in some of the flowering plants, that is polyembryony as well as apomixis, which occurs only in some certain species of plants.